Should've told you I could see this coming. Like I'm looking right into a crystal ball. When I fall in love, it's with misfortune. Oh, I wish I wasn't Mr. Know-It-All. Give you everything you said you wanted. See the future like it's written on the wall. You're the only thing that's missing from me. Oh, I wish I wasn't Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, hello. This is episode 1.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I've gone back and forth on Instagram so many times. Haven't actually had a conversation with you properly. This will probably be our first proper conversation. So this is
No, literally.
So
First of all, congratulations on the pod. Tell the people about it.
thank you. This is purely about this. This might sound crazy, but you know what? If you cry, then I've done a good job because.
Me or the audience?
Everybody, even me, whoever watches this and you end up crying, then you know what? Sweet, it was a great job. Because it's all about pain, it's all about trauma. This episode in particular is about trauma, and it come in any form you want it to come in. And then there'll be other episodes about grief and about, the family dynamics moving on, but that'll be at a later date. But I think I've got an amazing first guest anyway, so you guys might recognize her from TikTok, from Brit Asia, from Instagram, from pretty much everywhere. She's smashing it. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I feel so honoured to be your first guest.
There you go. I told you, I saw, for anyone who doesn't know, if you go on TikTok and you just type a name and don't click any suggestions. But you'll see that, there's a lot of wisdom there, and I think hopefully it'll come across on both sides. But look, if we start off with obviously the basics about trauma, if I said to you the word, what comes to you? What comes to mind, really?
Wow, it's so deep in it. I feel like when you say the word trauma, I think people automatically think like a big traumatic experience, like an accident or something like that. But actually, trauma can stem from I don't want to call them tiny things because I feel like they build up our nervous system, right? They're not tiny things, but abandonment, betrayal, getting cheated on, all these things are trauma. And so for me, I just feel like you hear the word trauma and I'm just like, where do we start?
Yeah. The thing I've noticed with trauma is I don't want to talk down about whatever any traumatic experience anyone's had. However, it could be something minor that's happened, but the reason for that is so deep rooted within you. And the problem, I suppose it is a little bit of a problem, especially in our community, is there's so much of it that's never even been looked at, let alone tried to resolve. And that anger or that trauma or that sadness that comes from that always comes out wrong, in my opinion, and it will always come out to, and you might end up making a decision you don't agree with, or that comes out from left field, and you're like, what have I done? And then it's too late to turn back. But it's just the thing with trauma, I think, is how you deal with it and how you want to bounce back from it. But I just think there's too many people out there that have it so unresolved. They go about their life as if everything's fine, nothing's ever happened to them, but deep down it has. And they just think it's I'm okay, I'm good, this just upset me, I'm good. But it's far deeper than that.
Yeah, I think with anything I've learned recently anyway, you have to look within. I think it's so easy to blame the other person. But actually, why are we responding the way we're responding? We all have trauma. And everything, whether it stemmed from our childhood or relationships, whatever it may be, we all have some form of trauma that's built up who we are as a person. So for example, with me, I'll give you an example. So when I was in my late teens, I was in a really toxic relationship. I don't even like to really refer to it as a relationship because I was literally a child.
They've all made us. They've all made us in a way.
They've all made us, exactly. And so this guy that I was with, he was so toxic, to the point, anytime we argued, it was a breakup. So it becomes learnt behaviour, right? So I knew, okay, we've argued, we're going to break up. So this cycle continued, got myself out of it anyway. Stayed single for a while, but then when I got into a relationship after that with my now ex, I remember our first argument, I was like, oh my God, like, are we about to break up? In my head, I'm thinking it because
Yeah, I
that's what
get
I
it.
had learned.
Get
And
it.
that's the trauma I had picked up from, like, that childhood relationship. And even though I had healed and, grown as a person, I think certain things we only face again when we're in that scenario and when we're in a relationship. And I think that's when you really have to look within yourself, which was my point, and be like, well, why am I responding like this? And I think that's the point where you think, okay, either you continue the cycle or you choose to heal, learn, grow. And I think certain people use their trauma as almost like, like that joke everyone has, like men get their heart broken in year 8 once and then they're twats to women for the rest of their life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that. I know
Like
what you
that
mean by that.
typical
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like, you can't blame your actions on your trauma for your whole life. You either grow from it or you're just going to keep repeating that cycle, and then down the line your kids are going to be doing the same thing, and then your grandkids are going to be doing the same thing.
100%, 100%. I was gonna
Yeah.
talk about that. Our parents are. I don't want to call out any parents who watch this, but you guys, I think our parents are very much responsible for our trauma.
Yeah.
Whether it's unresolved, but see, I'm a real big believer that if there's somebody out there who's had a really rough pregnancy because of stress around it,
Mm,
whether it was in-laws who was really bad or whatever was going on in
mm,
their life, that stress and they're pregnant, that stress
yeah.
isn't just going to be on them. Something will get passed on, and I
Yeah.
do firmly believe that trauma, depression, mental health, all that is very much generational.
Yeah,
And
it is.
but I think within our community, it's so lost, and especially in men. I know men are starting
Mm,
to talk more, but
mm,
like I feel like it is easier for girls just to kind of like get
mm.
your WhatsApp group firing, or like say, can you believe what
Yeah.
you did, or can you believe this just happened to me? I'm so sad, and then you get your support coming
Yeah.
from everywhere. Whereas guys are very much, I feel,
Keep it to yourself.
yeah, and I'm not saying
Mm.
that men don't know how to deal with anything, but I do feel like when it comes down to advice, sometimes it's probably the wrong advice sometimes that men might give you, I think. And
And do you think that's a generational thing as well? Because, like, let's
100
say, like, our Bobby and stuff like that, they're all men that have just cracked on and, like,
100%,
they don't
100
talk about anything. Do you reckon that's why?
100%. You know what? Like
Mm,
for me, when my marriage ended, and
mm,
first I couldn't stop crying, I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking, I just couldn't talk to
yeah.
anyone or anything. And then I
Mm.
randomly thought, you get those guys out there, they're probably still out there now, who if their missus leaves them, like, you know what? Let her go. She's gone. And I'm like, I was sat there, I'm thinking,
I can get
how do
someone
you have
better.
people like
Yeah.
that? Right? How
Yeah.
do you have people like that? Yeah, if she leaves me, she leaves me. Like, what? No, like, no, she
Masculine.
come back. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, come back. I don't want you to go. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like
Yeah.
we have some people out there, and I don't know if that's been taught from. It's like goina, goina, jalegi goina, hodla blungi. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like no, like
Exactly.
what are you talking about?
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, I've heard that apparently, like, that's what my ex did. So, like, when I broke my engagement off, apparently he was like, well, I can get someone better than her anyway. Like, well,
Wow.
it's the mad. Do you know who I am? And it's like, I think that's an ego thing because our
Mm.
egos get hurt. And I think it takes a strong man to remove their ego from this and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think, again, like linking it back to the trauma, you're masking the hurt
Hmm.
and you're masking the feelings that you're feeling. All of that's going to build up and then manifest, God knows how, maybe in your next relationship,
Hmm.
or you'll become a bitter person and then you'll pass that on. So I think it does take a strong person to remove that ego and be like, actually, let me feel what I'm feeling. And again, like going back to what I said, being like letting yourself sit in your feelings and look within, like, why am I feeling this way? It's okay that I'm feeling this way. So I think, like, the fact that you can openly say, like, yeah, I cried, I couldn't eat, probably a lot of men do that and go through it, but they're not going to say it to the world, because to the world they're just like, well, F her, like,
Oh,
you know,
100%.
I'm the
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, see, I used to be the opposite. This is the thing. I
Wow.
used to be
Yeah.
somebody who didn't talk, didn't open up,
Yeah.
thought tomorrow's a new day, start again, it'll be fine,
Yeah.
right? But then, like for me, so my first experience with trauma actually really started when my dad died, right? My dad passed.
Oh
I
wow.
was
So
20 years
sorry.
old.
Yeah.
If you know the thing with a 20-year-old, and I don't know if it's the same with girls, but for boys, it's very much a really
Mm.
weird age because
Mm.
you're not quite a man because you're not, but you're also not quite a child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm really trying to just navigate through life, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm 20, I'm Superman, I could do whatever I want, right? But
Yeah.
then I realized that one day I just woke up and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like,
Mm.
what do I do? What do I do? And I had to
Yeah.
go and really seek from within, like,
Mm.
do the therapies, do the talking, go
Wow.
out,
Yeah.
encourage your friends to even talk about it, encourage your family
Yeah.
members that you may not want to talk to me, that's fine, but you better find
Mm.
someone.
Talk to someone. Yeah.
Because in our community, we don't have these groups, right, that
No.
get together once a week or anything. We don't have
No.
that.
No.
We don't do counsel, So if you've got someone,
Mm.
one, make sure they're close, and two, just talk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the thing with men, especially, is a lot of them, by the time you do start talking, it's too late, and they've either
Mm.
done something stupid or they've done something they can't come back from, and
Yeah.
it's just it's a really really it's a tough road to
Mm.
navigate through. Anyway,
What made you sort of decide to go into therapy and make that decision for yourself?
um, so the moment actually was when my dad passed away, I was about to start a new job, so it was delayed and
Mm.
delayed and delayed. And I got into work. It was my very first day. I got there. I was early. I was sat in the car, and the whole time I'm fine. I'm thinking
Mm.
pretty good, new opportunity, kind of like a distraction, something to build and all that.
Yeah.
And then I got there. I got in the car park. I just looked at the building, and something was really weird was happening to me, right? And
Mm.
I remember getting out of the car, like going to the nearest bin and being sick.
Oh my God.
This isn't normal, right?
Yeah.
To the point where I went into that room. I thought, you know what, screw it, just go in there. I went in
Yeah.
and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate.
Wow.
I had
Yeah.
to, if I'm honest, I lied. I lied to them.
Mm.
I said, and if anyone's watching, I'm sorry, but I lied. I lied, and I said that, oh, I've had a call from home. There's been a family emergency. I've got to go.
Mm.
Right. And then I just remember just picking up a bag, getting in the car, and just racing home. And even then, I was
Yeah.
shaking and everything like that. And I sat
Mm.
down, and my mum had just come back from wherever she went. And I said, like, Mum, there's something wrong with me. I just don't know what it is.
Mm.
Like, I can't,
Mm.
like, I feel like there's something trapped. And I don't
Mm.
know how to negotiate it. And I don't know what to do. Right. And that was the point where, she got straight in the car. She drove straight to the doctors and kind of almost forced the doctor's appointment for me, where I then
Yeah.
went through the referral process and everything like that. And it took
Mm.
was it 4.5 years of therapy? And I'm still on it, on and off now,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
it took a long time. But then the thing with trauma is I went in for bereavement counseling, but it turned out to be so much more,
Wow.
right? And
Yeah.
it's a hell of a journey. Therapy
Mm.
is crazy. The amount of ups and downs you go through, the amount of things you didn't even realize, like something, like one argument where
Yeah.
something really big was said to you can
Mm.
really stick with you for way longer than what you
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. I
You know,
had this conversation with a friend of mine literally the other day, and I was like, when you're going into counselling, like, you actually don't realise what else you might unpack. And we were talking about, like, because she was, thinking whether she would go into counselling, etc. It's something that she's sort of thinking about. And she was like, it's scary. And I was like, of course, because you don't know what you're actually gonna unpack there. There might be something so, like, deep within you
Mhm.
that you don't know that's gonna come out.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, very brave.
yeah. It was really weird because I remember talking to my friends about it, and I felt as if like they
Mm.
were really uncomfortable at times.
Really?
And they're gonna watch this, so
Yeah.
you all were, but
Getting called out.
yeah, you all were hella uncomfortable, right? And it was
Yeah.
like but they reached a point when at the start I was like, am I doing the right thing? And even telling these guys, but then afterwards I just
Mm.
realized that if you just talk about it once, even if they just take a little bit out of that conversation, it would at least
Mm,
make you feel a little bit good about it. But
yeah.
it's yeah, it
But
is.
again, that's like it's not normalized in our community, and that's why you're still like, oh, do I like bring this up?
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
of course.
you know, no one talks about therapy in our community or going to counseling or anything like this. I think these are still very new conversations.
Mm,
So, but I think they should be normalized because, like I said, we all have trauma.
yeah. Yeah, we do. But the question I have for you is,
Yeah.
if I asked you in terms of, you can answer it either way. You can either answer it just as a woman or as an Asian woman, which however you want to answer it.
Mm,
Is if I said to you, okay, you're going through a trauma, something's up with you, however you're dealing with it, you're dealing with it.
mm.
What's the biggest misconception for you, like for an Asian woman to be dealing with trauma? Like, what do everybody else think that she's all right? Like, what is it that isn't true, kind of thing? If you can answer that one.
Oh, that's such a good question. I feel like the biggest misconception, or I think maybe like what we're expected to act like, is that we're just expected to crack on
Right.
with life. Or what I found in my situation was that when I was in my previous relationship and I was going through it, I think that's when I was sort of grieving in the process of being with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came out, I sort of felt like a big relief. And I think people almost expected me to be crying and looking upset and like, and then when I wasn't that, it was like, well, why aren't you? And
Right.
then it was like, well, what like should I be? And it's because I think people almost expect like, oh my God, like, you know, their relationship's broken off or this or that. I feel like there's a big thing where it's like it's a taboo thing for women. Like I think almost it's okay for men,
Mm,
like,
mm,
oh yeah, like he'll find someone else. But for girls, I think there was a big thing where it's like, oh my God, like is she gonna find anyone else? This,
mm,
that. Like, I'm
mm.
really lucky. I've got like great family, my parents, my brother, like everyone supports me so much like that. I'm sort of like I'll send it. I don't care. Like I really don't care because I'm like I know my parents support me, my brother supports me. So I don't really give like I won't swear just in case it's going anywhere. But like, you know, for the viewers underage. But yeah, I don't really care. But I think people have this misconception that women need to be ducky or we need to hold our trauma in a certain way and we need to wear it. I'm someone like again, I will sit with how I'm feeling. If I'm upset, I will allow myself to be upset. If I want to cry, I'll cry. However, I'm not going to let that become my whole identity. I think
Mhm.
you have to grow through things. And but I think the biggest misconception is that Asian women are almost expected to wear what they've been through. And when you're not that, you're almost like, well, why?
Mm,
Because
mm.
you've been through that. Why don't you look like the trauma you've gone through?
Right. Okay.
That's what I think is a big problem in our community.
Okay. Okay. How do you think I mean, if you could change that and you can kind of find a way around it to kind of make people aware that there are such things as grieving a relationship before the end.
Yeah, of
What?
course. And I think, you know, a lot of like my male friends even that I've spoke to after or that like know my situation, a lot of them have said like, yeah, nay, like women grieve before they end it. And
Hmm.
like a lot of women, like I'm sure you've heard, like women check out emotionally before things end physically. And I think it's very normal and we don't speak about it enough. And like this is almost why like I started my soft truth series on TikTok because I had so many girls message me and be like, seeing you go through it or seeing what you've done gave us the strength to do it too. Or has showed me that I can do it. Or like girls have like messaged me for advice, things like that. So I think it's just about opening the conversation that it's okay to have a life after that. A relationship doesn't define you or a breakup doesn't define you. Your trauma doesn't define you. It's about how you grow after that and how you know, you heal through it, how you allow it to shape you as a person moving forward, not wearing it like a, you know, like a badge of dishonor.
Did it? Like I know that you kind of went through the grieving process before you
Yeah.
decided that enough was enough. But
Yeah.
when you did make that decision,
Mm.
did you have that fear? Like, what are people gonna say, or am I gonna? Is it like not like will you ever find anyone back?
Mm,
That's complete crap. But like,
yeah.
would you ever like? Did you ever think, oh, this is something that's gonna follow me around for quite a long time, or were you able to really just disconnect from?
Um, no, I think for me, like, I think anyone that knows me know, like, my faith in God is so strong. And so for me, I was like, it was just a switch, and I knew that, you know what, God has got me. And
Mhm.
I know for some people will get that and some people won't,
Yeah.
but it was like, it was just a mental switch, and it was about choosing myself. And again, like, to link it back to trauma, in past relationships, I had always put the person above me. And
Okay.
when you do that and you're doing everything to like please this person, you abandon yourself and you lose yourself within that. And so then for me, it was like, if I don't choose myself now, I never will. And that was the switch.
Okay.
And I knew I had to.
Mm.
And I knew that, you know what, like, God's got me, I can do this. Like, and it was a great decision.
Yeah. Well, it will be.
Yeah.
It has been. You
Yeah, yeah,
smashed it out.
yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
But no, again, like for me, obviously, I'm still in the middle of all of that process of
Mm,
starting to figure out like what life looks like and things like that, and
yeah.
almost trying to not break out of that cycle essentially, because I feel like I broke out
Mm,
of it quite quickly. Um,
mm,
but for me, the biggest trauma I took from everything ending for me, it wasn't the fact that it had ended. It was
mm,
how quickly it ended.
yeah.
Like, was I blindsided by it, or was I blind and I didn't realize what
Mm.
was going on? Because as a man, it's like I'm not gonna say like we're Neanderthals because we're not, but like
Yeah.
we don't necessarily see the obvious, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And
Do you
there's
think
things
you ignored red flags?
100%, a hundred
Mm.
percent. Like the thing for me that I really realized like once it had ended was our reactions to it. And
Mm.
for me, the biggest thing that made me realize is like, wow, I really got you wrong because, and again, I know everybody deals with trauma and pain differently and
Mm.
things like that. So that's fine. But like the thing for me was every, like the pain that I was feeling when it ended was my pain. I didn't
Mm.
like, I know, like, again, this isn't really an Asian thing. I think it's everywhere. It's a universal thing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if a parent sees their son or daughter crying or they're upset or a sibling sees it, they're going to feel
Mm.
angry. They're going to feel hurt and pain as well. However, I
Mm.
didn't want them to be angry at her.
Still
I
protecting
was
her. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And
Mm.
it lasted ages. It lasted a
Yeah.
long time of me sat there thinking, oh, bro, that's my wife. Like, what are you talking about? Like, leave her
Yeah.
alone like that. But then,
Yeah.
like,
Do you
we've
think
had a
that was the part of you that like thought, okay, there could still be hope and we can make this work? So
100%,
that part of you wanted to protect her because like, well,
100%,
actually, no, she's still my wife. She can come back.
100%. I
Yeah.
to reconciliation till the very end.
Yeah.
Till the very end. And the thing is like, it took but it took a while for me to just even like. I remember anyone would say anything bad about it, I'd argue. I started being like, don't. What are you talking about? This is my like. And it used to be a really weird thing. It's like if I'm complaining to you, just listen. You don't need to join in, right? If
Yeah.
I'm sitting
Let me
here,
vent. Why? I didn't ask me your opinion.
yeah, exactly. Just sit there and listen. That's all it was, and it was really really difficult for me to navigate that. But
Yeah.
then when I saw it on the other side, it
Mm.
was okay. Everybody around her was really angry and all that, and that's fine, and I
Mm.
understand. But it was when she was joining in
Yeah.
and making things that for me that were really really harsh and really really sad. And like the thing for me that really really did draw the line was like I talk about mental health struggles. Towards like the end
Mm.
of our relationship, I was really struggling mentally,
Mm.
and it was things that I was really really open with, and I aired it with her that I'm just struggling, like I just don't know what to do, right? And I feel
Mm.
like I'm just hitting a crossroad. Like I just don't know what to do because I was in
Mm.
between jobs at that time as well, and I was just really really just finding it tough just to navigate because I felt like
Yeah.
the other thing with trauma and the thing with relationships and trauma is that when you meet someone and it's an amazing time and things like there's like a balance and
Mm.
I just felt as if like when I was going in between jobs the balance had shifted and
Mm.
it didn't, and it necessarily, it was a 50-50 relationship in everything, but I felt like I was leaning on her way more than what she needed to lean on me, and for that I felt bad
Mm.
almost.
Yeah.
And but the thing for me that really just took it away from, I was like, yeah, this I can't believe I what like I can't believe that this is actually the person I fell in love with, is when she openly started telling her family about my mental health struggles and
Yeah.
would do that. And I think that there's a line that, you don't need to
Yeah.
cross. And like, for me, if and that's that took so much to work through for that trauma alone,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the mental health struggles that you go through, your partner goes through, that doesn't need to be the world's business.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you told your family, like, yeah, you know what, she's struggling, he's struggling, they're having a hard time, it's just been a really difficult process for them, things like that, that's fine.
Mm. Mm.
But if you then start going into detail, you then start getting things,
Yeah.
because then I started hearing things like, you know, he's lying, he's using it to scare her,
Oh
he's using
my
it,
God.
and it's like, excuse me, like, I
It's
don't
all
know,
invalidating you, yeah?
100%. And like,
Yeah.
that was the biggest trauma for me, when you meet someone and you build a life with them, and that person for you is every little aspect of your life, that whole road that leads to them, right? Your
Yeah.
future, your future family, the houses, every little thing, the car,
Mm.
holidays, everything. No matter what you do, you go to work, something happens, whether it's something serious, something sad,
It's
something fun,
them. Yeah.
straight away you're on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? And everything just leads to
Yeah.
them. And the moment that,
Mm.
not that they let you down, but the fact that they break you by doing that, it's such a traumatic thing to go through, because like,
Mm.
and especially for a man, because you've been vulnerable with that person, and being
Yeah.
vulnerable for anyone's hard, but it is super difficult for men. And to
Yeah.
go through that entire process and think, wow, one day I'm gonna have to, you know, tell somebody else that I've got mental health issues. One day I'm gonna have to tell somebody else that I'm
Yeah.
going really hard, or I've had a struggle and things like that. Are they gonna do the same? Are they gonna do this? Are they
I
gonna do
was
that?
just gonna ask, like, is there a part of you now that's like scared, or do you feel like you've taken a few step backs where you're like, oh, well, like I was really comfortable to talk about it, but now that I've had this reaction, like, am I going to be able to find that safe space? Because you do think your person is your safe space, right? That's why you were open about it. So when that
Mm-hmm.
safe space is violated, which is what's happened in your scenario, like, do you, like, is there a part of you that's felt like, oh, like I'm never going to get that safe space again, or am I going to
Yeah.
be able to be this open?
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
There's that fear. And even though, like there might be moments saying, no, you know what, it'll be fine. But I feel like when that
Yeah.
moment comes where you're going to be open, you're going to share with somebody, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm scared,
Mm.
because I'm just going
I'm
to get
scared.
judged.
Methodology.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
No, it
I'll
is
tell you everything
scary.
else. I'll tell you about this.
No, it is scary, and I think, again, like, same with me, like there's so many layers to everyone, right? And I think there's so many things, even like childhood, etc., growing up, that like I have to be in like a really safe space to talk about certain things or certain experiences. And like, when, yeah, because I even had the same thought, like when I ended my relationship, like I thought, oh, like I'm gonna have to like tell like someone else now about like my law and
Mhm.
like my life story and this and that. And like when you've gone through it with someone else, and like you think that like they'll understand you now in a different way, then when you have to go through it again, and you're like, oh. But I think, again, love is a risk, relationships
Oh,
are a risk, but it's just, you know. But I
yeah.
think, the right person, and what I've learned is that the right person will, your nervous system will know before you do. If you feel safe in their presence, and like that's one advice I will give you, is that like when you're with that, whenever, you meet this next person or whatever, your body will tell you way before your head and your heart even clicks on, because your insides will feel safe. And I
Mhm,
think that's
mhm.
how you know.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that
Yeah.
totally. It's there is just that, like, the whole when you know kind of moment.
Mm.
And But yeah, it's just crazy how things can change, and how you go from just pure joy to pure heartbreak, and it's just you go from one to the other so quickly. You have
Life
no
hits
idea.
you fast.
It
Life hits
really
you fast. You're like, how did I
does.
end up here?
Yeah, yeah, it genuinely is. It's like a Formula One car just smashed right into you.
No,
But
no,
it
it
is.
is crazy. How do you think you're sort of like, obviously you're still in, your healing process and things like that. What's
Mhm.
been sort of like the hardest thing for you to navigate now, like moving on?
Probably the routine. That's probably the hardest
Mm,
thing. But it's also
yeah.
like how your brain is wired still sometimes to that person, and it still makes you think, oh,
Mm,
I didn't even tell them that. But then you go on WhatsApp and you're, well, I'm actually blocked. Like, this
yeah.
is, and it's like a harsh reality of what's just happened. But
Mm,
that's probably the hardest thing, is the routine, and the
mm,
idea that now you kind of you've gone from doing things for the two of you to now doing things just for yourself, and that's
mm,
a difficult process in itself. Because
mm,
I think your nervous system, it just overloads and it just explodes, and you're like, what do I do? And then you go
yeah.
through, and it's just such a traumatic experience to having to realize that, okay, not that you're necessarily on your own again, but you're kind of not with the
Mm,
person who helped you, and you look back at it and you think, you know
mm.
what? But that's a trauma as well, because you think that that person helped you to
Yeah,
in
like you
life.
were safe. You were a
Yeah,
safe space at one point, yeah.
yeah, and now they're not your safe space, and you're not theirs, and it's like,
Mm,
wow, where do I go now? And it is
yeah.
hard. And I don't know if the same thing happened with you, and like I know you said you
Mm,
grieved the relationship before it ended, but even once you'd ended
mm.
it, did you have those moments when you kind of like missed him, or kind of wanted to reach out to him, and or anything like that, or were you just done?
I think for me, it was like one, like I knew it was over way before it was over, but also like I think again, like you mentioned, routine. So like regardless of whether like I grieved it while I was in it and everything, that person was still part of your day-to-day life. And I think that's where I wouldn't say I struggled, but I think that was the biggest difference. And like you do feel the loss,
Mm,
and like okay, like this person isn't really part of my day-to-day life anymore, like, and then navigating things as like a single person now, like that was, but I think in my situation again, like I think for me it was a lot of relief.
mm,
And
mm,
I think for me, I think my nervous system regulated. So I think I was like in a state of just like fight or flight. Like if I look back at my life, like last year, like for the first like 9 months up until September, like I would say I was sort of just like on autopilot. And
mm,
so I think for me, when I came out of it, it was like, yeah, transition period of like, okay, now I don't have like a person, but actually I can breathe.
mm,
Like, and so I think for me, it was like, it's okay to feel safe. It's okay that you feel happy. And I think for me, I almost felt like I had to justify why I was happy.
mm,
Like it was crazy. I think everyone, but when I explained it, especially to like, you know, my close knit people, and I had to obviously break the news to them. I think once I had explained everything, um, then they were like, okay, it makes sense why you are so happy and
mm,
you look
mm.
lighter and everything like that. Because again, like maybe you've like been through something like similar, but did you ever like, when like there's bad times and like you don't tell anyone because again you want to protect them, right? And
Mhm,
you don't
mhm.
want anyone to have like a negative like perception of them, because they say like, and like I learned this from that childhood relationship, because every time I was upset I was crying to my parents, I was crying to my
Well,
brother, like they saw me crying, then oh like, or even to my best friend, then I'd get back with him, and it was like the same repeated cycle. Then I learned like, well, now they don't like him, I keep getting back with him, like I need to stop like telling them every little argument. So
mm,
then in my previous relationship, when something was going wrong, like I didn't tell anyone. The only person that sort of knew was my sister, and even then I wasn't telling her the full extent of anything. And yeah, so then when I sort of trauma dumped at the end on everyone and was like, well, actually, this is what I've gone through in the past 3 years, I think everyone was just like, whoa, but you didn't look like you were going through it. But you mask it. And then I think you have to then process. And so I think for me, coming out of it was just a lot of processing. And I think, and I made a video on this, you desensitize yourself until you talk about it. And I remember like talking to my best friend about it, and she said to me, she was like, I knew you were going through something. I knew something was wrong with you, but I didn't quite know what. And because you weren't saying anything. And so when I've told her everything, she was speechless. And then I realised, oh, like, this was really bad. But you desensitize yourself to it as you're going through it because it becomes normal. And I think when things are gradually getting worse, because it's gradual, you don't realise how bad it's getting because you're in it and like it's just you two in your safe space. But your safe space is so flipping toxic that you don't realise how bad it is actually, like how bad and toxic and horrible that bubble of yours is until then
Yeah.
you voice it. So for me, it was just a lot of processing that, you know what, like what you went through was really bad, and it's completely okay that you've ended it and you're allowed to feel happy.
Mm. Mm. I fully agree.
Yeah.
I used the saying for me, like throughout my time of marriage, I felt like I was just putting out fires.
Mm,
Um, and it wasn't just with between myself and her, it was also like, if somebody would say something about her, like,
yeah.
I'd be like, no, 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 it's
Mm,
fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
mm,
Things are fine, and
yeah.
and I just thought like, and that's all I was doing because I just wanted to just keep that relationship just to the two, really.
Yeah.
Because the way
Yeah.
I look at telling anybody like about your relationship if something's gone wrong is like
Mm,
you can have a fight right now with your partner. You could be really
mm,
upset, and your friend or your sibling or whoever,
mm,
and you'll tell them everything.
mm.
You know, later on that day, you and your partner are going to be fine. You're going to be back to
Exactly,
default.
exactly. But their perception's already changed.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's why I
Yeah.
kept it so close from within. But I realized that I was married to an avoidant, right? And I was married to
Mm,
somebody who for me, I look back and is that they've got trauma that they, not just theirs, but I feel like it's a lineal thing with
generational.
yeah, a hundred
Again and
percent.
again, exact. And the fact that you've been able to see that in them, but maybe they don't know why they're like that, why they're responding, why am I an avoider? And I think unless you really, again, look within yourself and think like, well, why am I responding? You're not going to be able to be in like your best version of yourself in a relationship because you're going to always respond from your trauma, which is what
Mm,
probably they were doing, which in turn doesn't make them the best partner for you because they've got their own trauma that they're not dealing with, whereas you're dealing with yours.
mm. Yeah, and that's the thing. And it reached a point when it was like when it all ended, and then the reasons I was told that it was ending, I was like, is that it? What? Because we've been arguing.
Mm.
Like it wasn't like over a long period of time. It was only a few months. It was about 3 or 4 months of arguing, and it
Mm.
wasn't like every
Wow.
single day. There was
Mm.
like 3 or 4 big arguments, but to me, it
Mm.
didn't really seem like the reason, a reason to
Mm.
to say I'm done. I want a divorce. But like the thing that
Mm.
I realized is that because I'm married and avoidant who has got so much trauma that all they knew really knew was the slightest bit of problem is to bail. I realized that
Mm.
I'm somebody who's gone away, dealt with something, sorted it out, is more of a person who, okay, if we have a fight, I want to resolve it. It may take
Yeah. Are you a
hours.
talker? Like you want to talk it through?
Yes, yeah, and it might take
Yeah.
hours, but you know what? We're going to be together for the next 30, 40 years of our life. What is a few hours on one day where we're just going to go back and forth,
Exactly.
right? And
Exactly.
that's just, but
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like there's people out there who just think that they can just live with their head in the clouds thinking, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. And it's like, but this isn't just something just breaking. It's not just
Mm.
like this is a family bond that you've created. This is a bond that you two, the future that you two created, and what you're going to end it.
Mm.
Why? But I also realized that the thing with trauma is I don't want to be like this all traumas are, people react differently, and there's different
Mm,
levels, right? But like, I do realize that if you've got someone who's been through a lot,
mm,
what seems like something really big isn't necessarily that big to them.
mm,
Whereas somebody who is okay, is gone through that, maybe not had loss, maybe not had, heartbreak, things like
mm,
that. Something happens, it's their nervous system, everything just explodes, and like, yeah, I need to leave, I need to go back, I need to go back to what I knew, and I need to go back home, I need to go
yeah.
back to things like that. And it's just sometimes I feel like if you are like that, you just got to take a step back and realize that this is real life. You know,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
if you are upset, talk. The only person who could really fix your trauma at that time, because you're upset, is the person who caused it.
yeah.
Right?
And I
Talk to them.
think you have to be really self-aware though. I think because sometimes avoidant people don't think they're avoidant because
Hmm.
all they know for them, they're like, well, I don't like the situation. I'm going to take myself out of it. And that's
Yeah,
the easiest thing for them to do because people process differently, right? So,
yeah.
like, for example, me and you, we're talkers.
Hmm.
Like, I'm one of them, like, I want to talk and resolve. Like, again,
Yeah.
I don't care if it takes all day, don't care if it takes a week. Like, we've got to talk it through. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care. But
I agree.
someone that's an avoidant or someone that processes different, like, some people have to remove themselves from a situation to process that. And
Hmm.
again, that could be a trauma response because, they could, who we don't know, like they could have been in like a childhood situation where like they've witnessed arguments within their family or like big fights or something. They've had to remove themselves because that was safe for them. So that's them
Yeah, yeah.
protecting their nervous system, or they think we're protecting, but then they don't realize how they're affecting their future partner. How,
Hmm.
because you want to talk, but they
Hmm.
think for them the safest thing is to run.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think unless you really, again, like unless you really look and you're self-aware, you're going to end up in a cycle.
yeah.
And that's what I think, that's why you really have to unpack your trauma. And I think relationships, like they really do bring out like your wounds.
Mm.
And that can be scary because we don't want to ever, look at the bad sides of us.
Mm.
And again, like what I said about like when I thought, okay, arguments are going to mean like, oh my God, we're breaking up. Like when I realized that that's what my thought process was, I thought, oh, like that's a bit shit that I think like that. But I think I was
Mm.
self-aware enough at that time where I was able to think like, okay, but actually I can talk this through, and I know it's a safer space to talk.
Mm. Mm.
And so I think you really have to like, again, like provide your partner with that safe space in your relationship to know like, okay, this is okay. You don't need to run. We can heal through this.
Mm.
But it's if they want to. Again, like we can only control ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't control anyone else's actions. Like as much as we can sit here and say, like, guys, unpack your trauma,
Yeah.
unless the viewers want to, they're not gonna do it, right? Because they might be like, I ain't got no trauma. I'm fine. But it's like you have to know it within yourself and be like, you know what, maybe I do need to work on this. And once you
Mm.
make that decision yourself, that's when I think, you can really work through it and your relationship can then blossom.
Mm. Mm. I fully agree. I fully agree
Yeah.
with you. It has to be a two-way streak. You got to
Yeah.
be, and I get it. If you are an avoidant, and okay, this is a really really difficult thing for you, it's not necessarily saying
Mm.
change now. It's but be like if you do notice, you can't, obviously you can't, if you dating someone who's avoidant, you can't go up to and be like, you're an avoidant, right? But like, you also,
I have done that before. By the way, you're an avoidant.
right? It's like, but like as hard as it is, like you want to just say it, like, oh, you're such an avoidant, I get it, but like the other person has to recognize that, but then they also have to be open with enough
Yeah.
to their partner to say, like, you know what, I am this, and I struggle with this. I'm not. They're not necessarily asking
Yeah.
you help, but at least you know how you need to
At
handle.
least they're self-aware. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've got some tough questions for you now. Right,
Okay, let's go.
right. Here we go. Is love enough in a relationship? And what I mean by that is, does it reach a point where you can see past the trauma that relationship has caused because of the love, and think, you know what, it's all good. This will pass. The love's going to get us through.
No. You
Okay.
need respect,
Okay.
trust. I think love is a beautiful thing, and I think when it's right, it's beautiful. But I think if, you can love someone that's, aside from romantic relationships, for example, you could have like a shitty family member, but you still love them because they're your whatever they are to you, but
Mm,
they're a terrible person. You might not respect them. I think in like a romantic relationship, you can love someone, but if you're not being respected, if you're not, if you're being cheated on, there's no loyalty, they're not really committed to you. Is
mm,
that really enough to get you through? Like some people, I've seen it countless times, they will, for love, stay in a relationship where they're not respected, they're constantly being cheated on, they're being spoken down to. Is that really how you want to live? And I know everyone's approach is different. For some people, love may be enough, and like you love that person enough to like accept the shitty behavior. For me, no, like there needs to be mutual respect. Like it has to go both ways. You respect me, I respect you. Like I think love and respect go hand in hand together, and that's what will make the relationship, along with like loyalty, don't be a cheat, all of that stuff. Like, it goes
mm.
hand in hand. I think for a long lasting relationship, I think if you don't have like good communication, loyalty, trust, respect, love can't carry you
Mm,
the
mm,
whole way through.
mm.
Because love can make people do crazy things. Do you know what I mean? Like love can
Yeah.
make people stay in horrible situations, and it's like, especially like again, I've seen it countless times. People that are in horrible relationships, but they love this person, so they stay in that toxic cycle. They stay in this toxic environment, end up ruining themselves.
Mm, mm, I agree.
What do you
I
think?
agree.
Is love enough?
No, no.
No.
If you've reached a point where you've had an argument or something really big has happened between yourself and your partner, and I'm not obviously there's things that you
Mm.
can't come back from, like cheating and abuse and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So
Of course.
that's a totally
Yeah.
different thing. But like if there's something that's happened that's caused you trauma and caused you to really have to really, really take a step back in your relationship, like,
Mm.
is this for me? And if that person that you're
Yeah.
talking to doesn't see that or doesn't see that there's something wrong, then love is not enough.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Exactly. Your love should be bigger than the problem. But if the
Mm,
problem, is like something traumatic, cheating, abuse, etc., no, then no.
mm.
Count me out.
Yeah. Well, I've got another one for you. When
Yeah.
is it time to walk away?
Hard one.
I agree.
Again, I think something inside you will switch, and you'll
Mm,
know inside. Like for me, it was a journey. Honestly, I think I I knew a long time before I was ready to admit it to myself. And I think, like, looking back, I wish I could have done things differently, and I wish I could have shaken myself and been like, "Girl, what you doing?" But I think something inside you switches, and I think it's different for everyone. Like for me, like I never want to like intentionally hurt anyone. So I felt a weight of responsibility, like, oh my God, my actions are gonna hurt someone. And then that was a big thing. And so I think walking away is difficult regardless of how you feel at that point. You might know it's the best decision that you're gonna make, or like it's the right decision. But until you get that mental switch, you're not gonna do it.
mm,
It's different for everyone.
mm, mm. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, I don't know how I would answer that because I didn't walk away. So, I don't know if I can. I'm the right person to answer that one. But I know I 100% I get what you mean. Like I
You
feel
have
like
to
there is
know
a
when to
level of
choose yourself. I
yes.
think this is what I've learned. Like, don't abandon yourself in love. Like, I think
Mm,
in relationships, like it's of course it's compromise, but I think don't abandon who you are. If you've got to that point now where you've realized like I'm not putting myself first. I've really abandoned who I am and what I care about and like what I stand for. Then at that point, like call it wraps. And I think that's what I've learned now. Like the minute you realize that you're putting yourself last, like nah, man, like you need to be operating at 100, and your person needs to be operating at 100, and you both need to be putting each other first, not you put them first and you're like somewhere down here in their packing line, and in turn you're just giving to them. Do you know what I mean?
mm, mm. I 100% agree. I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. This is the last tough question before I'll give you some quick fire
God.
ones.
Okay,
What's the
okay.
hardest lesson trauma has taught you?
The hardest lesson. Wow. That not everyone's built like you. I think sometimes w- yeah, I think we can expect us from other people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the
Mm-hmm.
bitter pill to swallow. Because again, like just as an example, we're talkers, we want to talk, but when the person in front of us doesn't want to talk it through, and you're like, well, why? Like, don't you care? Like, don't you love me enough to talk about this? Like, don't you love
Mm-hmm.
me enough to work through this? And that's the bitter pill, that not everyone's built like you. And I think this can be all across the board, not just romantic relationships, like friendships, your family members. You are who you are because of like what you've been through and what shaped you and how you've grown as a person, but you can't expect you from others, because no one else is you, and you can't expect it. You have to take people as they are. And it's again, am I willing to accept and avoid, and am I willing to accept this behavior from someone else? Because you're not going to get you in another person.
No, no. I 100% agree. Not
Mm.
everybody is built like you. Not everybody is
Yeah.
like. There's a lot of people who are happy just to say I'm sorry and just move on and not really resolve and not really understand. Like,
Yeah. Well, what are
right?
you sorry for? Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Don't
just
just
it
say I'm
felt like it
sorry.
was so easy.
Tell me
And
why.
the thing with me, is I actually started becoming like that. I was very much like,
Mm.
I'm sorry, like I'm sorry. That was it. I've
Yeah.
made a
Did you
mistake.
get
That's
to a point where you didn't even know what you were apologizing for?
all the time, all the time,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I was sat there and I was just like,
Mhm.
yeah, I just said I'm sorry, but I would really like
Don't
to
know
be
what
walked through
for, but
what I
I'm
did.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like walk me through it. Like, what is it I did?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I did that all the time, and I fully agree that you don't find everybody the same, and you need to try and find some sort of balance and happy medium in between where you can say, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with this, I'm not good with that, and just move forward with it.
You just have
Yeah,
to be able to you need to be able to understand each other. And I think when you accept that, okay, this person isn't me, I can't expect that from them, but they need to also understand, like, okay, this is how my person is wired, so this is how I need to approach them, and this is how this person is wired, and this is how I need to approach them. And I think when you've got that, that's when it will work.
100%. I agree with you. I
Mm.
agree. So let's have some fun with some quick fire round questions.
Okay.
That's why I keep looking over there because my notepad's there. If I, one word that describes healing.
Oh, messy.
Yeah, for me it's
People
tears.
think healing is a walk in the park and going to Pilates. Hell no. Some days you're going to be sat in your room
Yeah,
crying.
that's mine. Tears, tears.
Yeah, yeah.
Boys watching, just cry, man. Let it out. It's all
Cry,
right.
cry it out. Cry it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And trust me, I remember this. Is the funniest thing. I remember like it was so fresh for me. So that everything had just happened, and my mate said to me, maybe you just need to start, building a bit of a routine. I just saying like, bro, I just want to go a day without crying. That's my routine
And
sorted.
that's a win.
And I just suddenly started happening. I'm like, yeah, there you go. I could do it now. So 100% I agree. uh, what is? I'll give you both at the same time. What is for you, looking back, your biggest red, and in the future your biggest green flag?
Okay, biggest green flag for me is if my nervous system feels safe. I was
Okay.
literally having this conversation with one of my girls, and she was like, I feel really calm. And I was like, girl, biggest red flag, I mean, green flag, sorry, biggest green flag. If you feel safe inside and you're like, whoa, this is a really calm situation, I feel like peace. Big green flag. So, yeah. Biggest red flag, where do we start? Or where do we start? I think someone that doesn't take accountability, someone that, like, you need to be able to understand why I'm upset about something. I think if that person isn't willing to understand you, big red flag.
Mhm.
because I'm not, I'm not asking for much, just asking you to understand like why I feel the way I feel and why this has upset me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
What's your biggest red flag that you have spotted?
Someone who is just fake. And I know that's hard to find, hard to figure out, but
Ah,
like,
fact.
but for me,
Yeah.
it's I don't know what the word is, but it's like like somebody who is happy just to not necessarily let you down, but embarrass you out. Make a joke about you that is necessary. That is just like something between you two,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And just happy to tell everybody involved and everybody in it and let them all laugh
I
at you and
agree.
things like that. To me, that is a real thing because there's
Big
things
red
like
flag.
there's things that happen, right? And you might do something really stupid, really silly, and things like that, and you'll laugh about it
Mm.
with your partner because you're safe with them.
Yeah.
If then 2 weeks later you're with I don't know with your in-laws or with one of their friends and they're like, oh, I heard you did this. It's like, wait, what? No, whoa. When did you guys find out this?
No, this has happened to me. This is actually a big red flag. Like, yeah, we like in my previous relationship, like there was a scenario that was like funny for us in between, ha ha he, but like keep it between us. But I was finding that like he was bringing it up to people in like social settings, but to the point he was like it was like a big build up, like, oh, like, do you know what Nay did? Or should I tell you something funny? But he built it up so much that like there was no choice but to now say the story. It's like, well, why are you trying to embarrass me?
Mm.
Red flag. You're so right.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not. There's that thing, that kind of like
I
sanctity
know.
of your relationship that is just should just be
Exactly.
between two people. Um,
Exactly.
but the biggest green flag for me is
Mm.
somebody who just has your back, right?
Yeah.
And no matter what. And I used to say this in my previous relationship of to the world, even if I know you've messed up, I will defend you. I'll find a
Mm.
way. But when
Yeah.
when I drive home or we get back home that night, I will say, listen, just be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. You probably could have handled
Yeah.
that a little better and things like that. I just keep it to you. In
Yeah.
front of the world,
But in public, defend them. Yeah.
yes, yeah, in front of the world,
100%.
that's your person. That's somebody who you
Back
are going to
them.
back till the very end and back again and again and again. And I used to say this, like, if I'm with you till the wheels fall off, and even if they
Mm.
fall off, I'm getting out and I'm walking with you.
He's fixing them. He's
Right?
fixing them.
I'll fix them. If I can't fix it, we're gonna walk. We're walking together. Let's go. Right? And that's the way
Yeah.
it should be, though, right? But I
No,
think
fact.
people are so easy to say, "Oh, wheels falling off. That's it, done."
Yeah.
And um, and my final question is,
Yeah.
what's your one piece of advice for somebody who is going through something
Mm.
and they feel broken? What's the one piece of advice you'll give them?
Wow. Um,
Got to end it on a deep one.
hard. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Like, I think like looking back at me, this time last year, I wish I just had someone that would hold my hand and like had said like, "Nay, it's gonna be okay." And I know it's very cliche, but I think when you're in the storm, it's so hard to like see the other end. But I would say stay true to yourself if you know that you've got a hard decision to make. If you know you're in a bad situation, I think the strongest thing you can do for yourself is choose yourself. And I will back that and scream it like, choose yourself. If you know you're in a bad situation, get yourself out. Because I think the best time of your life can literally be on the other end of that hard decision. You just can't see it yet because you're surrounded by the noise. Um, so yeah, my advice to anyone that is going through it is that it will get better and things will always get better because whatever God's plan is for you, trust me, it's 100 times better than whatever it is you're going through. You just have to find the strength to make that first step. And I think once you make that first step, your life instantly, you'll see how positive it can be and how many like blessings you were blocking. Like for me, the minute I chose myself, like it's crazy. Like life went 0 to 100. I've said this before. Like so many doors open for me, and I was like, I was blocking all of that because I was just in this storm and I couldn't see past it. So if you're going through it, just know once you do pass that storm, like sunshine and rainbows are there. Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah, you'll get there. Okay. For me, you are not what the world thinks of you,
Oh,
right?
that's beautiful.
Right? Because you've gone through something. You may be the person who
Mm,
ended it. You might be the person who's on the other end of it. There's going to be
mm,
opinions said about you. There are going to be things who people will judge you, will look at you differently. There's probably going to be people out there who hate you, and you don't know why.
mm.
You can't figure it out, but you do not
Yeah.
sit and you think, I am the reason. It was all me. They're right. I'm wrong. Beat
Mm,
yourself up and just damage yourself. I always say this, and I really do believe that every single one of us has a box. No box is better
mm,
than anybody else's. No box is more beautiful than
mm,
anybody else's. Dance
mm.
beautifully in the box that you've been given and just own it. It's your canvas.
Wow.
Whatever somebody else
Yeah.
wants, that's you. Keep it at that. And
I
it will
love
change.
that. It's true. No one knows your story more than you, and this is what I mean. Like, you don't actually need to owe anyone an explanation because only you know what your story is, what you've been through. So, like, F the noise. People are
Hmm.
always going to have something to say,
Hmm.
but you know your heart. I think if you move with a pure heart, good intentions, then that's all that matters.
I fully agree with you. I'm going to end with a question, but not for us, for whoever's watching this or listens to this. If you have
Yeah.
been watching or you've been listening and you think that you've completely messed up or you're carrying a trauma that's damaging the people around you, what's the one thing that you would do to make them hear you before you switch this episode off? And that's
I
it.
love that.
And that's
Wow. I love
it.
this. I hope we've like influenced someone to like
I hope
really
so.
unpack their trauma.
I
Even if it's
hope
one
so.
person, I really
One
hope
person's
so.
enough. There you go. One person's enough.
Yeah.
Even if we know them, that's fine. It still counts. But
We've done it.
yeah, we've done it. We're good. So that's it.
2 people down.
But yeah. But on that note, everybody who's watched, please like, subscribe, share. We'll go up in like
Make sure.
beyond everybody everywhere. Just share it with everyone, your friends, your family, your postman, everybody. And
Yeah.
yeah, and thank you for so much for joining for the first episode. And yeah, you've been an amazing guest. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. I've loved it.
Good. Hopefully, there might be another one down the road. Who knows?
Yeah. I might come back for another appearance. Who knows, guys?
I hope so. If you guys like, it might persuade her. So
Yeah, exactly. If you want Nay back on another episode, let me know.
cool. But thanks for watching. And yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Should've told you I could see this coming. Like I'm looking right into a crystal ball. When I fall in love, it's with misfortune. Oh, I wish I wasn't Mr. Know-It-All. Give you everything you said you wanted. See the future like it's written on the wall. You're the only thing that's missing from me. Oh, I wish I wasn't Mr. Know-It-All.